For the first time since the AI race began, Anthropic has passed OpenAI in business adoption. Not by a little, by a meaningful margin that showed up clearly in the data this month. And within hours of that news dropping, both companies started making moves that reveal exactly what is happening underneath the surface of this entire industry, and what it means for anyone using these tools to build something. In this video, I'm going to break down what actually happened, why it matters more than most people realize, and most importantly, what you should be doing about it right now. The research that dropped recently tracked business adoption across the major AI platforms. For the majority of the time since early 2023, OpenAI had been the clear leader in how many businesses were actively using their tools. That has now changed. Anthropic climbed to around 34% of business adoption, while OpenAI dropped to around 32%. That shift is significant on its own, but what happened immediately after is even more telling. Within a short window of that data becoming public, OpenAI announced free usage of their Codex coding tool for companies looking to switch from Claude Code. Shortly after that, Anthropic announced they were increasing Claude Code weekly usage limits by 50% for the next 2 months. Both announcements dropped within about an hour of each other. If you read those two announcements side by side, the message is clear. These companies are not competing over who has the best technology right now. They are competing over who can get more people locked in as deeply and quickly as possible. And understanding that changes how you should be thinking about every AI subscription you pay for. Here is the most important thing to understand about where we are right now with AI pricing. You are not the customer. You are the training data. That sounds provocative, but the logic behind it is straightforward. The two things every major AI company needs more than anything right now are adoption and data. Adoption because they want you dependent on their tools, to the point where if the service went down for a day, you would genuinely feel the disruption in your work. Data because every conversation you have, every piece of code you generate, every task you complete through their platform makes their models better in ways that become an almost impossible competitive advantage to overcome. Think about what you are actually getting for $200 a month from a top AI coding tool. The output of the code written, the problems solved, the hours saved would cost significantly more if you were routing the same tasks through direct API access, rather than a flat subscription. And it would cost far more again if you were paying a developer to do the same work. The subscription pricing makes no sense if you think about it purely as a product cost. It only makes sense if you think about what the company gets in return. What they get is your data, your patterns, the way you work, the problems you run into, the prompts that produce good results and the ones that fail. All of that information is flowing back to them and making their next model meaningfully better than their current one. Your $200 a month is almost secondary to that. They are absorbing the computer costs because right now, adoption and data are worth more to them than your subscription fee. This is not a new strategy. It is actually a very well-established pattern in technology business that has played out many times before. Think about what happened with online advertising platforms in the early years. The cost to run ads was genuinely cheap because the platforms needed advertisers using them. They needed the data from those campaigns to improve their targeting, and they needed the adoption to make the platform valuable to more advertisers. Once adoption was deep and switching costs were high, prices went up significantly. The same pattern played out with ride-sharing. Prices that seemed impossibly low for years were cheaper than owning a car for many city dwellers, subsidized by investor capital, while the companies built market share, habit formation, and the data to run their systems efficiently. Once dominance was established, prices moved toward profitability. Streaming services followed the same curve. Cloud computing followed the same curve. The land grab phase, where prices are kept artificially low to drive adoption, is always followed eventually by a reset phase, where the business actually needs to make money from the customers it has locked in. AI subscriptions right now feel like they are in the land grab phase. That does not mean prices will necessarily spike dramatically. Open source models are getting better and cheaper to run, which creates a real ceiling on what closed source models can charge. But it does mean that the current pricing feels more like an introductory offer than a sustainable long-term rate. The strategic response to this situation is actually simple, once you understand what is happening. Use these tools as aggressively as you can right now. Whatever you've been putting off building because it felt too ambitious or too time-consuming, this is the window to do it. The current pricing, combined with the current capability, represents an extraordinary amount of leverage available to anyone willing to actually use it. $200 a month of AI coding assistance, replacing what would cost many times that in developer time or direct API costs, is genuinely an unusual moment. Take advantage of it. At the same time, build in a way that does not make you completely dependent on any single tool or provider. The fact that both OpenAI and Anthropic are running incentive campaigns at the same time tells you that neither one has won this competition yet. The winner of the AI coding war might not even be either of those companies. Open source models are advancing rapidly, and the gap between proprietary and open source capability is narrowing every few months. If everything you build is so tightly tied to Claude Code that moving to a different tool would take weeks of rebuilding, you are taking on real risk. But if you build in a way where your projects are flexible enough that switching tools would be a manageable transition, an inconvenience rather than a crisis, you are in a much stronger position, regardless of how the competitive landscape shifts. Something worth saying directly is that nobody actually knows how this plays out. The data showing Anthropic passing OpenAI in business adoption is real. The pattern of land grab pricing followed by price normalization is real and well documented across other industries. But whether AI pricing follows that exact pattern, how quickly it might happen, and which company ends up in the dominant position are all genuinely uncertain. Open source models are a meaningful wildcard. If models that can be run locally for near zero marginal cost reach the capability level of today's top closed-source tools, the entire pricing dynamic changes. The closed-source companies cannot charge significantly more than the cost of running an open-source alternative, if that alternative is good enough for most practical purposes. It is also possible that competition between the major players remains intense enough to keep pricing reasonable for much longer than historical patterns would suggest. When the market is still genuinely contested, the incentive to keep prices low stays strong. What is not uncertain is the current value. Right now, what you get for the cost of an AI subscription is genuinely extraordinary relative to the alternatives. That is true regardless of what happens to pricing in the future. Anthropic passing OpenAI in business adoption is not the end of anything. It is a moment in an ongoing competition that is still very much open. The back and forth between these companies over the coming months is going to be worth watching closely, because the moves each one makes will reveal what they actually believe about where this industry is heading. For now, the practical message is straightforward. Use these tools more, not less. Build more, not less. The window where the cost-to-capability ratio is this favorable may not last forever, and the people who use it aggressively to build real things will be significantly ahead of the people who watch from the sidelines. Pick one tool that fits your workflow best right now. Use it to build something this week that you have been putting off. That action compounds in ways that no amount of watching and waiting ever will. And with everything moving this fast in AI, in the next video, I'm going to break down how to make money with AI in 2026 using only the methods that are actually working right now. No hype, no theory, just the real opportunities with real income potential that real people are building on today. Click the next video, and I will see you there. If this gave you something valuable, leave a comment telling me the one thing you're committing to change about how you use AI. I want to hear it. And if you want to go even deeper, stick around. There's more where this came from.